Hello and welcome to the 741 channel. Thank you for stopping by. Today we're going to take a look at replacing the battery in my 2013 Honda NC700X motorcycle. So unlike a traditional motorcycle, the gas tank in this bike is actually back here under the seat, and the battery is behind a compartment up here in the front where the gas tank normally would be. So we're going to pop this open and have a look. Okay, so the battery lives behind this panel in what some people refer to as the frunk of the motorcycle, or front trunk. In order to open the compartment, there's just two screws at the top that we need to remove. So now the cover will just come up and out of the way. Now that the cover is removed, you can see we have access to the battery. The first thing that I'm going to do is disengage this rubber tie-down strap. Now this is just hooked at the bottom with a metal clasp around a plastic tab right under the battery. So I'm just going to pull on that like a bungee cord and try and disengage that clasp. So on top of the battery are the two terminals. The positive one, of course, is the red one over here with the plus, and the negative one is over on this side. In order to remove the terminal screws, I'm going to use a 10mm socket. Now that's it. The battery should pull out of here now. So here's a look at the old battery, which I think may be the original one to the bike. It's a Yuasa YTZ12S. The new battery I chose is a Mighty Max, also a YTZ12S. I'll leave a link to this in the description below if you want to check it out for yourself. Anyway, let's get it out of the box and see if it looks like the old one. And there they are side by side, old and new. Look like they're more or less the same size. Terminals are in the same location, so I think we're good to go. Before I throw this thing on the bike, I'm going to do a quick voltage check just to make sure the battery is charged up. If it's not, we'll throw it on the charger while it's out of the bike, since it'll be easier to do it that way. Anyway, I've got my digital multimeter here, so I'll probe the terminals and see what we get. As you can see in the screen, we've got 12.8 volts, so I think we're good to go. Before I put this in the bike, I'm going to remove the terminal screws. And once I remove them, I want to be careful I don't drop these nuts out from behind the terminal post. Otherwise, I might have a problem trying to find them again. Okay, so now I'll just slide the battery back in its compartment here. Now that the battery's in place, I'll reinstall the terminal screws. You may need to fiddle around with these a little bit to get them to engage those nuts if they shifted a little bit while you positioned the battery. So I've got those terminal screws just snugged up with a Phillips screwdriver. Now I found with this bike in particular that if the battery terminals aren't super tight, you can get error codes on the computer and it'll cause the bike not to run properly. So I'm going to bring in my 10mm socket and tighten these extra good. Okay, so now I'll bring the hold down strap back in place and I'll get this clasp engaged with the hook below the battery. And then the last thing to do is just make sure this terminal cover is in place. Okay, so now I'll bring the battery door back and I'll make sure that the two tabs that are on the bottom of it engage with the slots in the bottom of the frunk here. Okay, and now we just got to install these screws. Okay, so that's it. The battery's in. Now the moment of truth. Let's see if the bike will start. That's pretty much going to wrap things up for replacing the battery on my 2013 Honda NC700X. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to leave a comment or subscribe, feel free to do that as well. If you'd like to support my channel in another way, please consider visiting my Amazon store, which you'll find linked in the description below. Thanks for watching.